When Yuriy Shelmuk co-founded a company last year making anti-drone signal jammers, he said there was little interest in the devices. That changed after the failure of a major Ukrainian counteroffensive in the summer of 2023, which was meant to put invading Russian forces on the back foot. Kyiv blamed the battlefield setback on extensive Russian landmines and superior troop numbers, as well as the deployment of vast amounts of unmanned aerial vehicles to spot and strike targets. On Sunday, 2 U.S. officials and a source said President Joe Biden's administration has allowed Ukraine to use U.S.-made weapons to strike deep into Russia. Shelmuk's company, Unwave, now has a 6-week waiting list for its jammers, of which it makes 2,500 a month. It is one of more than 800 companies in Ukraine's burgeoning defense production sector, the vast majority founded after the invasion of 2022 that enters its 1,000th day on Tuesday, November 19th.
Every counteroffensive attempt from our side was quickly halted, and not because our enemy applied certain tactics or followed a strategy. They were halted because concentrated, cheap aerial drones stopped all our assaults. Then our assault groups were halted, when suddenly, there was an understanding that a new game changer had appeared. Our current task is to cease using foreign components in our antenna production cycle. We decided to establish a task force that deals with developing and producing antennas. As of now, we have completely stopped using details made in China.
І було прийнято рішення створити свій підрозділ, який буде безпосередньо тут займатися і розробкою, і виробництвом антенн. На сьогоднішній момент ми вже повністю відійшли від китайських.
Like Unwave, many were set up in response to battlefield realities that did not exist at the start of the war, including drones, anti-drone technology, and, increasingly, the application of artificial intelligence. Since 2022, the role of drones has increased exponentially, first in the air, but increasingly on land and at sea. Both Ukraine and Russia are on track to make around 1.5 million drones this year, mostly small, cheap first-person view vehicles that cost a few $100s apiece and can be piloted remotely to identify and attack enemy targets. The threat has fostered a new industry focused on countering drones. Unwave is one of about 30 Ukrainian manufacturers of electronic warfare systems, the technical term for jammers and other devices which block signals and use various means to disrupt computer systems inside drones.
Defending our positions well and not allowing enemy FPV drones to come close enough and take a hit is what forces our enemy to find new solutions. They change radio frequencies and lower the diapason, which is why we're always chasing the enemy. We have to counter whatever actions the enemy comes up with and applies against us. It's more expensive to produce all of this in Ukraine than to buy it abroad. However, it gives us a certain flexibility and allows us to react quickly to changes, to adapt to new circumstances. Here we assemble multi-channel, jamming, devices. This device is called boombox. It's a mobile device, which means that you can mount it on military vehicles. There are magnets for this. You can just put it on the roof, fixate it, and use it while driving.
Most systems jam one, or at best a small handful of radio frequencies, meaning Russian drone pilots can sidestep jamming by hopping on to a new frequency. Makers thus monitor Russian drone-related online chats to understand which frequencies their drones will use.
Without
a doubt, 1,000 days of war have had a big impact on their defense manufacturers' operations. I can say that they certainly didn't expect themselves that they can keep working under shelling and during aerial attacks. They are very resilient and ready to face any security challenges there are. And they secure supplies to the front lines amid active combat actions. They often were business owners from other spheres. In our association, we have examples of IT startups that became part of the defense industry. We also have people that came from agriculture, and there are people that were in politics and are now building military technology. There are different kinds of people involved, but they're all united in their love for Ukraine and the wish to bring victory closer.
Hundreds of civilian entrepreneurs, often motivated by patriotism, piled in from sectors like IT or agriculture to start new defense companies. There are even examples of those who were in politics and started to build military technologies, said Katarina Mikalko, director of Tech Force in UA, an association of 40 private defense manufacturers. Ukraine now hopes that innovative defense companies will provide a new foundation for its economy, whole sectors of which have been devastated by the conflict.
There is no big secret, it's not some sort of rocket science. All we need is communication with those who use it. They for sure don't want to use devices that don't work, because that would put their lives at risk.
Це дуже просто, утилітарно, зрозуміло, без жодних інструкцій.
Інтелектуальними рішеннями. Якщо зараз це просто спам і ми в китайський 100 на 150. Але воно того варте.
FPV, мужики, FPV! Вон полетел, 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 полетел. Блядь! FPV, мужики, FPV! Вон полетел, 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 полетел. Блядь!